And we continue at 2:05 in the afternoon on the John Phillips Show. Mr. Randy Wang's in Culver City.
John, this morning, Karen Bass was at the ribbon-cutting ceremony of Los Angeles' first Dutch Bros Coffee, and she got way too much caffeine this morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Whoa.
Good morning, everyone. All right, that's a nice LA morning. We are here to celebrate the first opening of Dutch Brothers in Los Angeles, and I'm excited about that. And how about everybody else?
Did she just drop an S?
She drops letters right and left.
Los Angeles and
Los Angeles instead of Los Angeles.
She drops letters like Katie Porter drops F-bombs.
Los Angeles, and I'm excited about that. And how about everybody else? Yeah! All the Dutch bros behind me.
Are you a fan of Dutch Brothers coffee?
Never had it.
I've had it a few times. That was the first time I ever experimented with coconut milk in a coffee drink. It was pretty good.
Karen Bass wasn't just there to cut ribbons. She was also there to drop D's.
And I'll tell you, one of the reasons why, many reasons why this is exciting, but also this year in June, and in 3 years we will have the Olympics. This year we will have the World Cup.
World Cup?
She's dropped more D's than RuPaul's Drag Race.
This year we will have the World Cup, and we know that this is going to be one of the locations, and so this is an example of a business that we know will increase and improve and expand because of all of the people from the world that will be visiting our city.
You know, 3 weeks is 3 weeks. Exposition Park is going to be Exposition Park for a very long time.
And there's no D on world. 800-222-5222 is the telephone number. 1-800-222-5222. Here with an update on the jackass who tried to firebomb ICE, Mr. Randy Wang.
That guy got arrested, and he's got a massive rap sheet. For more, here's CBS LA.
The feds have arrested a Los Angeles man for allegedly trying to firebomb a federal building in downtown Los Angeles. They say he opposed.
Those protests were so peaceful.
Very peaceful, because all peaceful protests involve a firebomb.
And why do they keep torching the Waymos? The AI learns, and it's going to learn that human bad, and we got no one to blame but ourselves.
Opposes federal immigration sweeps and wanted to attack ICE agents.
Thankfully, no one was hurt. Tonight, we have images of the attack and have learned a lot about the man accused of staging it.
We have a team of reporters covering this tonight, a team coverage for you, starting with CBS LA political reporter Tom Waite. He's live in Koreatown where the suspect lived. Tom?
And good evening to you, Pat and Rudabeh. This unhinged, violent episode, as you said, began here in Koreatown, not far from where I'm standing. That's where the suspect lived, and that's where the feds say he set his apartment on fire before going downtown.
What, was he testing out the equipment first?
Okay, there is no excuse for that. There are driving ranges all over Koreatown. If you're angry about something, take out your anger on a bucket of balls.
Before going downtown, and they say launching Molotov cocktails at the Fed building.
Very peacefully.
New security camera images show the terrifying moments when the man highlighted in blue threw Molotov cocktails into a federal building in downtown LA Monday morning, according to federal investigators. The feds identify this man as 54-year-old Jose Jovel and tell us he lobbed the devices into the building as part of what he said was a terror attack. You can see the Molotov cocktails circled in blue as they were hurled at the building.
He specifically threw 2 Molotov cocktails. So one he threw in through what's labeled as the...
So the third one was the one he blew up the house with?
I guess he had to keep one for himself.
He wanted to see if he really needed to use Bacardi 151.
2 for you, 1 for me. 2 for you, 1 for me.
specifically threw two Molotov cocktails. So one he threw in through what's labeled as the employee entrance. It's actually the doors that all the employees would walk through when they enter that building. And the second one was through the public entrance. And there was actually a line of people waiting to get into that federal building.
Thankfully, the makeshift explosives did not detonate. And
So the only one that worked was the one that blew up his house?
Good job.
investigators released these images of other devices they say Hovell had with him, containing ethanol and hand sanitizer they say designed to explode.
So that's what people are using that corn gas for.
I wonder if he stockpiled the hand sanitizer during COVID.
Containing ethanol.
Also, once again, I understand we need to inform the public about what this bad man did, but are we not inadvertently teaching people how to make Molotov cocktails?
Oh, you could do that on the internet. Much easier than you can do it from the radio.
Containing ethanol and hand sanitizer they say designed to explode. The feds also say Hovell carried with him a flame torch.
Okay, now that we know all this and we have it on video, what do you think the odds are we can get an LA jury to convict him?
It's going to be tough.
That's what I was thinking.
2 airsoft guns and 5 knives.
My goodness.
5 knives. How's he going to explain that one? He was looking for work at Benihana.
I got to imagine either he had the most pockets on his pants or he's got like one of those knife straps that's wrapped around his chest like he's on an Australian walkabout.
Or maybe he had Mary Poppins' carpet bag.
He said he had explosives on him, and they did find 5 more of similar looking devices to the 2 that he had thrown.
According to the feds, Hovell's horrifying rampage started hours earlier at 4 a.m. Monday morning at an apartment building in Koreatown. Investigators say Hovell set his...
Was that just an accident? Was that just testing the equipment? Or was he protesting all those landlords in Koreatown that are taking away parking to build ADUs?
Well, if you're just going to blow things up just to terrorize the community, maybe it's North Koreatown.
Investigators say Hovell set his apartment on fire, allegedly angry over being evicted.
So he's just mad at the world.
Yep.
Allegedly angry over being evicted. The feds released this photo of the inside of his apartment.
This is the living room.
Yessie Paz's apartment faces Hovell's. She says he was well known to neighbors for all the wrong reasons.
Not exactly Fred and Ethel Mertz living next door.
It's just a great thing when we all are supposed to live on top of each other and there are so many criminal a-holes that live in this city.
I met him. It's just, very loud, screaming any hour of, like, at nighttime or morning, through our alley. I mean, just always being such a pain to the whole neighborhood.
After allegedly setting the fire here in Koreatown, investigators say Hovell made his way downtown on a bike. It was 8 a.m. when he allegedly launched his attack on the federal building. Hovell was quickly arrested, and the U.S. Attorney's Office says he confessed to his crime spree.
He explained that he lit his apartment on fire because he was upset with the apartment building management. And he specifically said that he was coming to the federal building, because of the fact that the administration and the U.S. government is separating families.
Okay, let's look at this story in the context of the fires. We know what happened with the fires. Arson turns into a fire, not fully extinguished. The state and the city fight over who has jurisdiction. They don't fully extinguish the fire. Fire reignites and it burns down the Palisades. We know that to be true. Yet if you listen to Newsom and Bass, it's global warming. When we were looking at all of the rioting going on in downtown Los Angeles and around the state of California, when the deportations were taking place, we were told by the cable networks and the big newspapers over and over and over again that these were peaceful protests. It was the hallmark of every single live shot in those areas. And now we know that this guy had Molotov cocktails. He burned down his own place. And he told the cops after he did all this on tape that he did it because he was pissed off at ICE and pissed off at his landlord.
Almost in lockstep, every single local elected official said that these were mostly peaceful protests, except when Imelda slipped up.
Those who are protesting want to get louder. They want to get more violent.
Oops. Remember when Maxine Waters went on TV and said anyone who said that anything violent occurred during these protests is a liar?
That he was trying to get the people who were challenging him, seemingly referring to officers.
And once again, the good news is no one injured in either the fire or at the site of the federal building where those Molotov cocktails were lobbed at it. The first court appearance for Hovell will be tomorrow. Reporting live in Koreatown, I'm Tom Waite, CBS LA.
Now, John, we're not done because this story continues with, guess what? The rap sheet of this jackass.
You don't say.
Tom, thank you so much. And let's get to CBS LA assignment editor Mike Rogers at the desk.
Mike, tonight you're digging deeper into the suspect's criminal history, and it is extensive.
It's very extensive. In fact, it's mentioned specifically in a whole section here of the criminal complaint filed by the Department of Justice today, and it details criminal acts going back to 1988.
Whoa!
So his rap sheet is going to be as long as a CVS receipt.
This guy's been committing crime since I was 3.
Going back to 1988, including murder. I actually want to show it to you.
Oh, boy.
So wait, he doesn't sound very peaceful. Did Maxine Waters lie to us?
I actually want to show it to you here. We put the ton of a timeline of what we're talking about here. This is the suspect. He has been convicted, at least convicted. We don't even know what more he's been arrested on, but convicted on 9 felony charges dating back to 1988. In total, over the span of all 9 felony charges from 1988, he was sentenced to 22.6 years behind bars. Let's break down.
And he was totally rehabilitated, right?
Oh, yes, the system worked like a Swiss clock.
Behind bars. Let's break down a little bit more of what he has been convicted of. We'll show that to you in the next graphic here. Murder in 1988. This is when he was a juvenile, and he was sentenced to 3 years at a camp placement.
He murdered someone and was given 3 years in camp.
Turns out these laws were bad a long time ago, too.
This was before the state completely lost its mind, too.
It's unclear at what age this actually happened because, again, juvenile records are sealed. But in 1992 and 1993, he was convicted of first-degree robbery, 2 counts of that, where he was sentenced to 9 years in prison. The list goes on to include car theft in 2001, where he was sentenced to 6 years in prison, and criminal threats.
What the hell happened to 3 strikes?
You'd think at some point this guy would not only be striking out, he'd be down in the minors playing for the Mud Hens.
And criminal threats as recently as 2018, where he was sentenced to jail time and probation. Now, according to the criminal complaint here, that probation was ended in 2021, though the criminal complaint does note that he allegedly violated his probation several times between that time frame. So
what's the point of probation if nothing happens to you when you violate that probation?
It's just a way to check a box to say, okay, we gave him a punishment, even though the punishment has no teeth.
We are reaching out to the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation to learn more about his time in state prison because, as you have seen, he spent a lengthy amount of time there over the course of several years.
And not very much rehabilitation, it seems. Thank you, Mike.
Pat knows what's up.
Oh, yeah. Her mama didn't raise no fool.
So there you go. That's the peaceful protester that was chucking Molotov cocktails at the federal building back in June. A real gem of Los Angeles.
And Randy, we also have an update on the e-bike madness that we talked about yesterday because one community in San Diego County has had enough.
Carlsbad is making an age limit restriction for e-bikes because those jackass tweens are getting real annoying. For more, here's NBC7 in San Diego.
Carlsbad is moving forward with new age restrictions for e-bike riders. Local leaders approved recommendations prohibiting children under the age of 12 from riding them.
But the ones that are really bad are the 12-year-olds.
Do they not get the papers down there?
Oh, everyone's busy going to Legoland.
And as NBC7's Dave Summers tells us, parents could also pay a price for violations.
Okay, wait, I like that.
Yes. If your kid is causing havoc on an e-bike, it's the parent that should be punished.
Young kids on e-bikes in traffic is a great concern among many communities. But in Carlsbad, more than 550 people chimed in on the Traffic Safety Mobility Committee's request for public input.
We got to protect the pedestrian.
There is an issue that has just universal, there is just everyone on one side. Adults are sick and tired of the e-bikes.
It's so crazy to me that the entire world is over this. The kids are the ones that are enjoying it, and for whatever reason, they're the ones with the political power here.
We got to protect the pedestrians from these people.
Peter Penserez is a committee member, but at Tuesday's council meeting spoke as a cyclist. Two of his friends were rear-ended by e-bike riders while they were riding their pedal bikes.
Both of them were injured. You have vehicle code sections that apply to unsafe passing. I recommend that you put that into the requests.
Council agreed. Members unanimously adopted that recommendation, also prohibiting e-bike use by someone under the age of 12, prohibiting e-bike riders from carrying passengers if they're under 16 years old, update unsafe riding standards, giving police impound authority, and prohibiting e-bike.
Ooh, they could take away the e-bike.
Ooh, the kids aren't going to like that.
And prohibiting e-bike use in designated parks.
Our number one.
You know what's cheaper than an e-bike? Spending time with your kids.
Yeah, but the parents don't want any part of that.
Our number one goal is keep everybody safe.
Carlsbad declared a traffic emergency in 2022 after e-bike collisions went from 20 the year before to 45.
It looks like they may have a problem.
Well, you have an entire population of people that are legally not old enough to drive that we have given motorcycles to.
And they all think they're James Dean, huh?
You're going to have to live with that the rest of your life, whether it's your fault or not. And I don't want to subject our residents to that. I don't want to subject our youth to that.
The mayor says council doesn't want a heavy-handed ordinance over penalizing kids. The recommended penalties are $25 fines or required riding classes. But what about repeat offenders? Lieutenant Jason Arnott, who was instrumental in gathering data informing staff recommendations, says the willful disregard of such an ordinance could result in a child endangerment charge against the parents.
Okay, I like that one.
If a couple of parents go to jail over this, then maybe they'll start taking those bikes away from their kids.
I don't think a parent would want that on their record, a referral to Child Protective Services or a criminal case file.
So there you go. That's the latest in Carlsbad. If your kid is being reckless and crashing into people on that e-bike, you might be the one that gets in trouble.
Good. Let's go to Jaden in Oakland. Jaden, hello.
Hit that road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hi, guys. The show is on fire right now. And don't call Karen Bass because she don't know anything about putting it out. And I like to make a comment and talk about criminals. And I like to paraphrase my favorite radio man, Tom Likas, said to get rid of the fentanyl problem, you put a big pile of fentanyl in the middle of the city and you say, have at it, boys. So they could do it until they meet the Grim Reaper. And that's one way we can solve the epidemic because they don't like free turkeys for Thanksgiving or Christmas canned goods that Denison's chili or anything like that. And I just really think that this fentanyl problem is getting out of control. They took my nephew's bike, and I was watching 10 minutes ago a documentary on lizards from the Galapagos Islands. So I'm ready to be that lizard.
All right. Thank you for the call, Jaden. I appreciate it.
Here you go, Jaden.
(800-222-5222) is the telephone number. 1-800-222-5222 If you'd like to email the show, you can do so at johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. That's johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. And Randy, whenever we do a Katie Porter topic, the mailbag is always interesting.
The mailbag is always inappropriate and full of things that I cannot read on the radio if we want to keep our broadcast license.
And if you missed out on that segment, you definitely want to go back and listen to it.
Search for The John Phillips Show wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello, everybody.
Whether it's the Apple Podcast app,
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
iHeart,
Please.
Spotify,
Little D.
Search for The John Phillips Show, hit subscribe. You can download all the episodes.
No.
You could do a Google on the YouTube. You can get the free KABC app.
What I haven't heard about is anything about dishwashers.
You can get the free KSFO app.
I call it the shift gift.
You can get the KMJ Now app because we're on that station Saturdays at 2. So many different ways to listen live to our radio stations and download all the podcasts.
Paul!
Let's go to Dan in Linwood. Dan, hello.
Hi. Yeah, these. I actually live in Redondo, but my girlfriend rides up on the hill in Rolling Hills. And the other day, one of her friends got thrown from her horse because these e-bikers were chasing the horse and spooking the horses. And they're not supposed to be on the trails, but a lot of people are being thrown. And being that she just got a new hip from getting broken up on a horse, it gets kind of personal. But these kids all through Redondo Beach and Hollywood Riviera Village there. They're driving between traffic during traffic time, showing off, doing wheelies amongst the traffic. And, of course, if we hit one of these little bastards, we get sued. It's totally out of hand. And all they do is just flip people off and spook horses, and a lot of people are getting hurt. Like I said, her friend spent a few days in the hospital with a punctured lung and 8 broken ribs.
And I'm sure the kids didn't stop to render aid. They just kept moving along.
Of course not. And there were other people riding that were waving their hands, and little bastards thought it was funny and just kept driving for it and chasing the horses. So it's happening a lot up in Rolling Hills and PB area and San Pedro where people ride. There's thousands of horses live up there, and a lot of people are getting hurt.
Well, let's hope one of these bikes pulls up behind Mr. Ed, and Mr. Ed kicks a field goal right between the uprights.
Well, they wonder why we want 15-shot clips, right? It's getting that out of hand here.
Thank you for the call, sir. I appreciate it.
As tough as this situation is, because it seems like the kids are just taking over certain neighborhoods, calling a radio station and calling them little bastards is very, very cathartic.
Let's go to Philip in San Leandro. Philip, hello.
Hello, John.
Hi.
Yes, I've been listening to you guys for a long time, and I hear you from time to time. You are referring to Barbara Lee, and I just wanted to know if you know what her real name is.
What is it?
Barbara Lee Tutt, T-U-T-T. Her father was a lieutenant colonel in the United States Army, a very conservative guy. He was a friend of mine when she was in college. And when she got out of college, he helped her buy a house. I'm a real estate broker. I sold her house. But her name is not Barbara Lee. It's Barbara Lee Tutt. And she's never, as far as I know, she's never told that on the public radio or any place what her real name is. I don't think she's proud of it.
And her dad was a good guy.
Oh, great guy, yes. He was a lieutenant colonel in the United States Army.
I wonder what he would think about her politics today.
Quite frankly.
Well, I don't think he would be too happy with it. That's what I think. I don't even know how she turned out the way she is with him as her father.
Well, sometimes that happens where you have a good family that has their head screwed on straight and they try to pass down good values to their kids, and then something goes haywire when they go to college and get brainwashed.
That's exactly what must have happened, because she isn't anything like her father.
All right. Well, thank you for the call. I appreciate it.
I wonder if it was something as innocent as, well, she had to change her name because if her name was Barbara Lee Tutt, how's she going to do Barbara Lee Tutt Speaks for Me? Doesn't rhyme.
All right. It's time to reopen the California Crime Blotter.
If the cashier is dummy.
We couldn't make this stuff up if we tried.
I said, hell no, baby boy. Let me get up on out of here.
It's the California Crime Blotter.
And Randy, this edition takes us to your neighborhood, the San Fernando Valley.
Soon to be ex-neighborhood as soon as I get a raise. Yeah. Non-stop break-ins to homes in the valley. And I'm getting real sick of it. For more, here is Fox 11 in Los Angeles.
Multiple break-ins within hours of each other in the San Fernando Valley overnight.
What is that bumper music?
Sounds like a nightclub in Europe.
Multiple break-ins within hours of each other in the San Fernando Valley.
Fox 11's getting all dubstep with it.
Multiple break-ins within hours of each other in the San Fernando Valley overnight. The string of burglaries targeting several homes and at least one business. Residents say they can't take it anymore. Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez live in Encino with the latest. Christina.
Yeah, we have at least 3 homes, 2 of them in Encino, 1 in Tarzana. Investigators not releasing any surveillance images, but they do seem to believe at least 2, if not 3 of the incidents, it's the same suspects. Take a look at this.
They were on a spree.
You know, Tarzana, that's where Chris Brown used to live. Imagine being a burglar and you think you're just going to knock off some accountant's house and you end up face to face with Chris Brown.
Los Angeles Police Department, anyone inside the house, come out with your hands up slowly.
LAPD responding to a break-in on Alonzo Avenue in Encino, where residents came home last night to a disturbing discovery.
I walked in and I have ashes from my parents, and they were on the floor. A cabinet was open.
No respect.
Wait, they spilled her dead parents' ashes all over the floor?
Hopefully they didn't try to snort them first.
2 hours before, police responded to a 911 call from the resident.
Now, wait a minute. Had they stolen the urn instead of dumping the contents all over the floor, would that have been theft or kidnapping?
2 hours before, police responded to a 911 call from the resident at this home off Ostrom, reporting people were trying to break in. It's the same.
Doesn't matter how annoying you make your alarm, it's not going to deter the jackasses.
Nope.
It's the same house where last July neighbors say a teen was injured when someone inside used a weapon to deter would-be intruders.
The last time there was a break-in, it was a 14-year-old kid, and so...
More little bastards.
How many times as a homeowner do you have to get broken into while you're there before you finally say, okay, it's time to call a realtor?
For the prices you're paying to be in Encino, you can be in Irvine. Irvine doesn't have this.
That's true.
And the 405 in Irvine, 10 lanes.
The last time
Irvine does close at 8 o'clock, but so does Encino.
You could be neighbors with Katie Porter.
The last time there was a break-in, it was a 14-year-old kid, and so,
Although I did hear Irvine has been taken over by the e-bikers, so you're kind of screwed no matter where you go.
Uh-oh.
And so, they with hoods and masks, and they jump.
Oh, they're Ferrer kids.
Yeah, they're very concerned about COVID.
Next slide.
And they jump the fence.
The whole neighborhood's been being hit hard by robberies left and right.
This map shows LAPD confirmed break-ins just the last month. It's about the time 3 of these license plate reader cameras were put up by residents working with the Encino Property Owners Association.
That's right. The local Encino Property Owners Association raised money to put up their own flock cameras because the city wouldn't do it.
And these people pay a fortune to live there.
It's the first of its kind that I'm aware of where a neighborhood has gotten together to fund a multi-camera surveillance system.
And if you could get that many homeowners to literally buy in and buy those cameras, at what point do we start a grassroots movement Encino needs to go the way of Burbank and Calabasas and become its own city. Enough of this nonsense.
Well, maybe, maybe not. If you can organize like this to put up the cameras, why can't you organize to get behind a candidate who's not Nithya Raman to represent you on the council?
Well, they tried that. Didn't work. Ethan Weaver did not make it out of the primary.
City Council funded cameras went up in the North Valley.
Although that district is way more than Encino. It's Encino, Sherman Oaks, Silver Lake, and Los Feliz. Gee, I wonder which side voted for Nithya.
No kidding.
City Council funded cameras went up in the North Valley last October, and LAPD does have readers in some of their vehicles. But many Encino residents still feel unsafe, especially after the deaths of American Idol music supervisor Robin Kay and her husband Thomas Zaluka this summer. Investigators say they were shot in their home when they surprised a 22-year-old intruder who has been charged with their murder.
We got to get more security and more neighbors involved in our security effort.
All I'm saying is everyone already thinks Encino is a city. It's just time. Incorporate. Get your own government.
Hey, they tried to do that in the Valley before.
Yeah, and what did we get? Neighborhood councils that mean nothing.
It's really scary.
The neighbors here feel safer. When they're out walking at night, they say, we feel safer because of the cameras.
Now, if people want to find out more about those cameras, they can reach out to the Property Owners Association, and they will tell you more. In Encino, I'm Christina Gonzalez live. Back to you in the studio, Christine.
I would love to put a sign on those cameras. This camera not brought to you by Nithya.
Well, she would have that coming. That's for sure. All right, Randy. Are you looking at Zillow right now?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
New Mexico, I got to get to you. I was just there and I got to go back. Enough of this already.
Every time we do one of these stories in the San Fernando Valley, I feel like you're looking at comps.
Yep.
Well, California has redrawn its congressional district lines after voters approved Prop 50 that was a Democratic gerrymander that Gavin Newsom wanted. He said he needed to do this in response to Texas, who redrew their lines. Other states, since Texas and California started going at it, have followed suit. What we're seeing across the nation is that red states are now drawing lines that benefit Republicans, and blue states are drawing lines that benefit Democrats. As part of the fallout, we're seeing longtime members of Congress and some very famous members of Congress being drawn out of their districts. I wrote about this for the newspaper, where I predicted that after Texas redrew their lines and, for example, drew Jasmine Crockett out of her district, one of the things that she might do if and when that happened was move to a state like, California, and run for a congressional seat here. Because think about it. If there's an open seat or somebody retires and Jasmine Crockett decides that she's going to be a candidate here in California, she's going to run in a blue state, in a very blue district, and her name ID will dwarf the name ID of any member of the California state legislature, any member of a city council, a board of supervisors. She's a famous person. She's a political celebrity. And mere mortals can't compete with that. In addition, she has the ability to raise large sums of money, something very few members of the Assembly, the Senate, the supervisors can do. What I missed was that it may go the other way. Instead of Jasmine Crockett and Democrats moving to California to run here, we could see a scenario where Republicans who were drawn out of their districts in California move to other states and run for Congress there.
And that's what's happening, apparently, although he hasn't announced it yet, with San Diego area Congressman Darrell Issa For more, here's NBC7 in San Diego.
Well, a political mainstay here in San Diego might be moving to Texas. Reporting from Punch.
How long do you have to maintain residency before you can run for Congress?
I wasn't convinced that this was entirely legal, but apparently it is.
This reporting from Punchbowl News says Representative Darrell Issa is considering running in the Lone Star State as a result of his district being redrawn here in San Diego.
By the way, I don't know if that's going to work out so well for him. Republicans in Texas don't take too kindly to Californians.
Well, especially really old ones who've been in Congress forever.
NBC7's political reporter Joey Safchik tells us what she learned from the congressman's office.
I mean, when he gets on the campaign trail and he's asked Torchy's or Velvet Taco, he's not even going to know what to say. Now I want to go to Texas.
Yeah, I reached out to Congressman Issa's office yesterday, and they told me they didn't have any news.
Congressman Issa, what is your Whataburger order? What's a Whataburger?
I'll take it in and out.
To make
you lose.
To make that day, but to stay tuned. So I followed back up a couple of hours ago. They said no news to make today. Murmurs of a move to Texas sending shockwaves from San Diego to D.C. as San Diego's only Republican congressman allegedly considers a leap to the Lone Star State, according to Punchbowl News.
What part of the state was he thinking of going? Lubbock?
Well, this wouldn't be the first time that he's done this. Don't forget, he was the congressman from Vista, and then that district became blue, so he moved to a more Republican part of San Diego County and ran in a different district.
I would be disappointed because we really value his leadership, his participation. He's always been very active here in the party, a very positive force, so we would definitely miss him.
San Diego GOP Chair Paula Witzel isn't convinced Issa is going anywhere. He's been largely quiet since the special election that resulted in a redrawn 48th district. It strips Republicans of their stronghold and gives Democrats an edge. He did put out a statement after Prop 50 passed, saying in part, "I'll continue to represent the people of California. I'm not quitting on California, and neither should anyone else."
He might be quitting on California.
And other people might be doing the same thing.
I'm very confident that if Congressman Issa is ultimately our candidate for the 48th, which he is committed to, that he will run a very strong race.
Issa's played congressional musical chairs before. He retired back in 2018 when his then district was at risk of flipping. He got back in the game a few years later. His potential gambit of running in Texas only works if the Supreme Court allows Texas to move forward with its redrawn maps.
It is a lot of speculation, and I'm not sure that there's really anything solid behind there. Of course, things could change. You know, in politics, everything is fluid.
The local Republican Party has already...
There's gender fluidity, and apparently there's state fluidity.
There's lots of fluidity going on all over the place.
The local Republican Party has already endorsed Representative Issa in the race for the 48th district. There's already ample conjecture about who could run in his stead if he decides to step away.
Yeah, I don't even want to tell you who they're thinking of running.
I think I know why. But we're out of time, so God took care of it for us anyway.
Thanks, clock.
All right, that's going to do it for us today. We'll be back tomorrow at noon for another edition of The John Phillips Show.